Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we take a look at how the governor plans to slowly reopen Kentucky's economy, with the first steps beginning today. And we show you how one Central Kentucky counseling service is using the internet to help serve the mental health needs of Kentuckians during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. My name is Lacey Robertson. Thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. It is Monday, a brand new start to the week and a brand new start to some foggy weather out there. Let's bring in Brandon Robinson. I know you mentioned earlier this morning that there was a fog advisory out of there. Just wondering if some of that is kind of cleared up for people who are waking up and probably getting out on that road, Brandon.
Yeah, afraid not, Lacey. I'm afraid it's actually going to get worse for a little while this morning. It's continuing to build in some locations, so if you have to be out this morning, be extra careful. It's the last Monday in April, if you can believe that. May starts on Friday. Let's take a look and see what's going on with that dense fog advisory. All the counties there in gray, basically from Hazard West out toward I-75 and Lake Cumberland, seeing that into Central Kentucky as well. And the numbers show it. Look at that. Low visibility across most of I-75, Lake Cumberland, coming back into the Kentucky River and Cumberland Valley. Anything less than 5 miles in this map is very dense fog. We take a look at the driving in dense fog tips and use those low headlight beams and make sure that you drive slowly and with caution. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s. Only a couple of 40s left out there, and now we're seeing 42 London, Jackson, and Hazard, 40 in Pikeville, 41 in Prestonsburg, Logan, and Huntington, West Virginia, also Jonesville, Virginia. Today, morning, the fog will be around 30s for temperatures, 65 this afternoon with some sunshine. Straight chance for rain late as clouds increase tonight, but not a whole lot expected. We'll have the extended forecast coming up here in a little bit. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon. At his daily briefing yesterday evening, Governor Andy Beshear announced 202 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 and 3 new coronavirus-related deaths. Those numbers do not break daily records, but officials say that they show that we are still in the middle of this pandemic. Shelby Smithson explains why the governor spent last night more focused on the first phase of reopening the state back up.
Tomorrow is the first day since this virus hit that, as opposed to adding restrictions, we are reopening some areas.
It's phase 1 of reopening health care. It's aimed at services like dental care, chiropractic services, and physical therapy.
This is a more controlled environment to start and to learn from. Those in our healthcare industry have better access to PPE, which is important. They are trained to better protect themselves from the spread of the virus, and they give us an opportunity to both have a model in how we do it, but to also gauge very early in how well we're doing it.
Now, when these offices open back up, it will be with new guidelines like screening both workers and patients for temperature and symptoms of COVID-19, planning for enhanced sanitizing, and everyone wearing masks.
And if you can't meet the guidelines, you can't reopen.
And it doesn't apply to long-term care facilities, prisons, or elective surgeries. While some question why the state is moving into reopening phases before reaching all the benchmarks Governor Beshear laid out previously, Beshear and health officials say it's a balance between keeping the public safe and allowing them to get the services they need.
None of us have ever had to reopen an economy during a worldwide pandemic before. And so we're going to do the best we can.
At the state capitol, Shelby Smithson, WKYT.
Governor Beshear also said that he would talk in more detail today about the future phases of reopening, including dates of when he thinks that might happen. And new cases of the novel coronavirus were confirmed in Eastern Kentucky this past weekend. The Pike County Health Department confirmed 3 new cases of COVID-19 on Sunday. The patients are a 23-year-old woman, a 74-year-old woman, and a 77-year-old man. All of the patients are at home in self-isolation at this time. And on Saturday, Prestonsburg Mayor Les Stapleton announced that there are 4 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Floyd County. 3 of the cases announced this past weekend are City of Prestonsburg employees. 1 is a police officer and 1 is a firefighter. Stapleton says that they are all asymptomatic and warned that this is an invisible enemy. Floyd County now has 10 confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus, and the health department officials say that 2 of those patients have recovered, while the rest are also in isolation. And in Letcher County, health officials from the Kentucky River District Health Department confirmed 1 new case yesterday. Health officials did not confirm any details about the age or gender of that patient and are working to figure out who they came in contact with to make sure that he or she is not spreading that virus. They say that he or she was tested at the Kroger testing event in Pikeville, and this is Letcher County's 2nd confirmed case of the virus. For more on these cases and others in the area, you can head over to our website at WYMT.com. And drive-through COVID-19 testing increases today here in Kentucky. Olivia Russell caught up with a doctor in Lexington about what we can expect to learn from these new numbers.
Looks like right now we're about on the top of our curve.
We've heard about the curve for more than a month, and now we're getting a better idea of where we stand. Dr. Ryan Stanton says it's because of testing.
Because right now we're testing high-risk patients, those that end up in the emergency departments, those with significant symptoms, those admitted to the hospital. So we've got a very high-risk population now.
Increased drive-through services make testing more available to people with mild symptoms. And some sites, like the state's partnership with Kroger, are even available to people without symptoms at all. Of course, with increased testing, we expect the number of confirmed cases to rise. Dr. Stanton says people shouldn't be worried about that, though. In fact, the data could prove that Kentucky's death rate is actually lower than what it seems.
I think that number is going to drop pretty significantly with widespread testing, especially now that we're doing asymptomatic patients, because we're going to start to see those folks that really may have never known they even had it to begin with.
When it comes to reopening businesses, Dr. Stanton believes some can start, but slowly. People still need to be mindful of social distancing so we don't create another wave.
And I think that's going to be a long-term threat until there is a vaccine available.
In Lexington, Olivia Russell, WKYT.
And one of those testing centers opening up today is right here in Hazard. You can find more information about how it works on our website at WYMT.com. And a lot of people are still struggling with Kentucky's unemployment system, but there is some good news that is on the way. Governor Beshear says that significant upgrades are coming to the state system. He plans on announcing those changes later today. Almost 1 in 4 working Kentuckians have filed for unemployment since March, and anyone with an unprocessed claim should be helped by the end of this week. And during the pandemic, many people are focusing more on their health, but what about their mental health? One Central Kentucky counseling practice is helping get people through this time while they stay healthy at home. Krista Frost explains how.
Therapy. It can be daunting, expensive, and sometimes out of reach, but we must remember.
It's important that during all of this, people get the mental health help that they need to continue functioning appropriately and handle the stress of everything that's going on.
And Helm Family Counseling is making it easier to do that.
We were already partially set up for telehealth when this all started. We were kind of starting to roll in that direction of being able to provide those services. We just kind of put it on fast forward.
The Versailles-based counseling service flipped the way they help people practically overnight, providing counseling online instead of in person, and that's not the only change.
Most of the insurance companies right now have expanded. They're willing to pay for. Paying for telehealth, you would have had to pay out of pocket for that previously, but now they've expanded what they're willing to pay for because of circumstances and things like that.
Meaning more people can get help for a lower cost. And for those who have had reasons to refuse counseling before,
they can do it anytime from anywhere and don't have to. In some cases, they don't have to necessarily get outside childcare to come in, or they don't have to worry about transportation costs.
This could be the opportunity for you to get the support that you need. Helm says it starts with a 30-minute consultation to determine the best counseling route for you. Then a video appointment is scheduled, and all taking only a day or two to get together and allowing anyone across the state to seek an appointment. In Lexington, Krista Frost, WKYT.
They are now able to provide help and counseling to anyone across the state of Kentucky thanks to these online meetings.
6:11 on this Monday morning, and it's definitely foggy. 39 and dense fog outside the Letcher County Bureau here, and we're looking at our numbers across the rest of the region, and you're seeing low visibility, less than 1 mile, less than half a mile, close to zero visibility down into central Kentucky, all the way down on the I corridor and on either side of the I-75 corridor, Lake Cumberland, and over onto the eastern side as well, Mountain Parkway at Slade. Not a whole lot, but you can see it building in there this morning up to our north. So we're going to continue to watch that. 35 in Irvin, 42 in London, Hazard, and Jackson. That's our range right now across the region temperature-wise, and that's anywhere between 5, 10, 15 degrees colder than it was this time yesterday morning. Your emoji cast today, after the fog goes away, sunshine across the board. Some stray chances tomorrow. I think we see some sunshine, though, some clouds as well, and then rain chances return on Wednesday with a cold front. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon. And thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, the uncertainty of this year's college football season might have big financial implications for all college sports.